Welcome to Raw Discourse, the most controversial podcast in the world.
My man Flex.
Yeah.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain, blessed.
You know, this was a very requested interview, my nigga, that everybody wanted me to do. So,
Is that right?
I felt like it was only right to bring you in now, you know?
Yep.
You got your birthday next week.
Yep. Coming up, Sag season. Shout out to all the Sages.
What events you got coming up, man, for your birthday?
Got a whole weekend. I'm doing a game night, probably like invite only on Thursday, the night of my birthday. Then December 6th, we got the all R&B party, and then from 6 to 10, and then from 10 to 2, we're gonna do like a Millennium 2000, just playing like all early 2000s music, stuff like that. That's gonna be a Sweet Bar in Deep Ellum. And then Saturday, doing Welcome Home Dallas Reloaded, bringing back the legendary party Welcome Home Dallas. So that's gonna be a level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, a whole weekend full of events.
Okay, let's take it from the top, Flex. So, everybody wants to know, and everybody can't quite put their finger on this. What exactly do you do?
That's funny. I get that question all the time. Man, I definitely wear different hats at different times.
You can see that.
But the core of really what I do is I create things from nothing and I make it into something. Right. That has always been a gift of mine, is literally creating something that didn't exist and making it into something that now exists. Right. As far as for people, I do a lot of service for people, and that's like brand and business development. And on the brand side, that can be marketing, that can be coming up with strategic campaigns for whoever I'm working with or whatever brand or company or individual I'm working with. That can go as deep into, really, breaking down a content calendar with them, coming in, probably providing some photography, some videography with them, within some people that work with my agency. And then on the business development side is really identifying problems that a company may have. And it's me figuring out, if I can provide the solutions. And if I can provide the solutions, from there, I will tell you what the solutions is. And I'll help you create the strategy to make whatever that problem is disappear, or make your process or your business more efficient.
Right. So primarily a consultant.
A consultant. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's take it back, Flex. How'd you grow up, man? Where you from?
Man, I'm from Dallas, from all over, lived everywhere.
Okay.
All over Dallas, from North Dallas to Oak Cliff, and ended up in Cedar Hill. Grew up in Cedar Hill. And yeah, that was your question, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Cedar Hill. You went to Cedar Hill High School, right? Okay. And then, so where exactly did Flex come from? Matter of fact, why does everybody call you Flex?
Flex came from, man, when I was young. When I was like in the 5th grade, the show 1-on-1 was on in Flex, Washington. And like everywhere I used to go, people would stop me and be like, "You like Flex, you like Flex, you like Flex." And that's like, it literally, like, I didn't choose the name Flex. It's funny because people be like, man, like, people ask me now, like, dang, they call you Flex because you like to flex on people. It's like, nah, the name Flex was given to me. Most nicknames that actually stick are all nicknames that was given to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my cousin name is Buck. Like, he didn't want to be called Buck. I got another cousin nickname that's Junebug. Like, he didn't want to be called Junebug.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was given to him. But Flex, everyone used to stop me. Like, it actually used to be annoying, bro. When I was little, because everywhere I used to go in the grocery store, no matter what. And then I was on the step team in my church. Shout out to Concord. And we had a very, very pretty big step team at the time.
Right.
And the guys that was over it kind of treated it like a fraternity.
Right.
And they gave everybody nicknames. Like, one of my homie, Jamal, his name was Jimmy Neutron because he had a big head. And my other homie, his name was Sticks because he was like short, super short and super skinny.
Right.
And they came to me. Everybody had like literally insulting nicknames. Right. And they came to me. They was like, "Bro, we can't call you nothing else but Flex." Right. So I would say that's when I accepted it. Because at first I didn't really accept it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, whatever. But when they was like, "Okay, we can't call you nothing else but Flex," I was like, "All right, cool. Like, I'm Flex then."
Gotcha. Okay, you just stuck with it from that point.
Yeah, everybody at church call me Flex.
Okay, so then you go to high school and you primarily started doing parties. Like, how did that happen for you, man?
Man, the parties, it was like, me and the homies, we would throw kickbacks and stuff like that. And then, we just was like, man, we know all these people, all across the Metroplex that throw a party.
Mm-hmm.
And we came together. It's funny, the first party I actually tried to do, all my friends was all supposed to put in, probably about 13 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then like everybody couldn't come up with the money. So we ended up having to cancel that party.
Right.
And we was gonna do that party with this group called BTP. And they lived in Oak Cliff. They went to Skyline, called Big Time Players. There was a bunch of like big athletes at the time.
Right.
And we had to cancel that party because we couldn't come up with our money. And then maybe 5 of us, me, 2 dudes and 2 girls, it was like, man, we just gonna do it. So we came up with the money, we did it. First party we did over 1,000 people. And then I was like, man, we didn't do it for the money, we just did it for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But we made money, and I was like, I kind of like this.
How much you make out that first party?
Man, honestly, bro, we got lucky, bro. And I don't even want to say, and I don't want people to like take this and feel like, oh, I can go throw a party and I'm gonna make this type of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just God kind of just, I guess, put that in our face to show us, at least show me, a direction to go.
Right.
So we made a little over 10,000.
Right, from that party. And then y'all put in how much to start off with?
Man, we probably put in about like 2,000 to 3,000.
Right. So yeah, y'all made over 10,000. Just that first time y'all did that, just boom, just like that happened.
First one.
Okay. And so you did that first party, and then you decided like, oh, this is the new wave, basically.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, what made you want to make you made that a career path for that point on?
Yeah, honestly, man, I didn't like ever think parties would be like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
You thought you was going to the league?
Yeah, I thought I was going to the league, bro. But I always knew that I would be a businessman, though. Mm-hmm. That's something that I knew before basketball. Like, even though I love sports, but I always knew as a kid that I would own businesses.
Okay, because you played varsity basketball in high school, right?
Yeah.
So you was pretty popular in high school.
Yeah. That's
probably one of the main reasons why you started doing the parties.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. And then, so after you realized, when did you realize you weren't going to the league?
I realized I wasn't going to the league my junior year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, my junior year of high school.
So, and did you already throw the first party by then, or did that come up after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Cause I think we threw that party like towards the end of junior year.
Okay, got you. So you threw that party, and then what was the next step after that? Like when you realized that, okay, we made some money off of this. How can we make more money? Because like at that point, had you got into it for the money? Because you said you didn't do it for the money. But did you start looking at it like, okay, we can make a lot of money doing this. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't even the fact of like just thinking about making a lot of money. It was just more so following up with another party. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just doing it again. Because think about it, it's my first party, so I wasn't thinking about it as it being a lot of money or a little money. It's kind of like this was the standard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like this is kind of like the standard for me. But from that point, a guy actually came in. I'm not even gonna say his name. He's actually pretty big now, but he's kind of been big behind the scenes. But anyways, he came in and like wanted to invest with us, so we brought him in as an investor. We didn't even need an investment at the time. It actually kind of messed us up a little bit as a group, but yeah.
Okay, so
for the second party,
you came in. So he come in as an investor, right?
Yeah.
And then he puts up the money for you to start doing more events, right?
For one event, he just did that for one event. That was our second party.
Okay, so he put the money. He put all the money up for that party.
No, he put like half up.
Half up, and y'all put the other half up.
Yeah.
Okay, did y'all make money off that party as well?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We got more people at that party. Actually, probably did like 300-400 more people.
Okay, right. And with this that you're doing now, did you have a team of people working for you at that time?
Man, it was the core, man. It was myself, two guys and 2 girls. We was the people that was putting up the money. But like my homies, it's probably about like, 13 to 15 of us, but they just didn't put up no money.
Right.
So five of us, we put up the money, but everybody else was still like helping out.
Right.
Because everybody else, it was the brand that we was doing it under at the time.
Okay, got you. And what was your overall purpose in being in that organization for you? Like, back now, why did you agree to do it?
So it was two separate organizations, but so we had a group called Dolo Gang, and then we had MOD, which was Mission Occupy Dallas. So that was the promotional company that was doing the events. My purpose of joining MOD was just because like everybody just aligned, like everybody got it,
right?
Mentally, like this makes sense. Boom, we're gonna do this. Everybody played their role, and that's what it was. It just made sense.
Okay.
But the people that was in MOD was a part of Dolo Gang.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Except for one person.
Except for one person.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And like you said, that investment, you think it messed you guys up. Why do you feel like it messed you up?
It just brought like problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, that's the thing too. Jordan. It brought a problem, and then we talk about an early age. Like, man, I'm 17 at the time. 16, right. 17 at the time. So I think the issue at the time, that was such a long time ago. I think the issue at the time was just like, maybe just because he invested, and it's kind of like, well, we should have let one of our homies invest. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we tried to get our homies to invest at first, and they didn't want to invest. So it's kind of like a whole bunch of hands in the pot. It's like, what do you do? Right.
And so how long did you keep doing the parties after this before you transitioned into, what was your next venture after that?
Man, I dove right into it. Like after that, we did a couple more parties in high school, and then from there went out to college. And for me, it was like, you
went to UNT, correct?
Yeah, I went to UNT.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's when like I would say a lot changed for me, because I went from doing these parties with 5 people to now it's like me by myself.
Gotcha.
And because one of my homies went off to the Army, which we eventually started coming back and doing some events together. But when he went off to the Army, the guy who started MOD was like he didn't want to throw parties no more. He went out, was supposed to go out to Howard and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep throwing parties.
Yeah.
So went to college, and it's funny because it was a promotional group at the time at UNT, and they were trying to recruit me or whatever. And I had got a call, and they were like, hey, they was like, bro, such and such, and them was just talking about you. They want you to join a promotional team and stuff like that. And it was just funny to me because like it was almost like instead of being recruited for basketball, I was being recruited
to throw parties.
Recruited to go parties, and it was kind of like I was like, yeah, whatever. I ended up not joining them and just doing my own thing.
And why did you not join?
I don't even think they like. It wasn't that I didn't want to join. It was just like they have stuff to. It was just an idea, and I was already doing it.
Right.
Like I was throwing parties already, so you got to think about it. I came from high school throwing parties. Y'all already in college, and y'all trying to get together.
Right. Gotcha.
So I already.
So you basically
had it together. But
you had more experience than them, basically.
I had more experience.
So it was no point of you joining.
Right.
Pretty much. Okay. So what was the first party you threw when you got to college?
Man, the first party I threw when I got to college was a party called UNT Swagger Blast.
Right. And how did that turn out?
It turned out great.
And you did it by yourself?
I did it by myself.
Okay.
It turned out great, man. Like I wanted to, it was my freshman year. The biggest thing I wanted to do was to provide an experience different for the college students. And at this time, like, of course, when you first go to college, like, you got the kickbacks, everybody throwing parties. But I did this party in Dallas. So I didn't even do it in Denton. But I had party buses from Denton come to Dallas. because I'm like, look, because a lot of people that went to UNT, they weren't from Dallas.
Right.
They never experienced Dallas. But my first parties that I was doing were all like downtown area.
Right.
So I wanted them to experience that. And then I already had people back home that still rock with me, so it just made sense.
So if you did it by yourself, where'd you get all the money from to do this? I mean, because getting party buses ain't cheap. I mean, especially for our college freshmen, where'd you get the money from?
Man, I was using college refund money. And I was,
really?
I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty good at 2K at the time. So like, I didn't have a job in college. I never worked in college until my senior year when I started working with 97 on the beat.
Mm-hmm.
But, bro, I used college refund money and hustling people on 2K. I was cold.
You was cold at 2K.
Cold.
What you playing, $100 games with 2K or something?
Nah, I would play like 20, at least 20. If you weren't putting up 20, at least $20, I wasn't playing. You went no point.
Right.
But we was playing at least 20, so I play about like, 3 to 5 of them a day. And I probably lose one. One game, so yeah.
Yeah. So you was pretty much making money off 2K, using the college refund money to jumpstart the parties that you was doing at UNT. By yourself, freshman year. Okay. Then what was the next step after that? What happened?
The next step after that, I wanted to think bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I created a organization, like a promotional company and a label at the time. And then that's when people like music artists started coming to me for like management. They wanted me to manage them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up managing a model that was pretty big and well known.
Who'd you end up managing?
I said about this up. I ended up managing Shayla.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then from that happened, like, how did her career progress from that?
It progressed pretty good. She was like, everybody knew who Shayla was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a redhead,
mm-hmm.
Bosnian,
right.
girl that's not from, she's not from America. She
mm-hmm.
fun, love to dance, love to talk with people, hella cool. And like all the rappers in the world wanted her. Like Chief
mm-hmm.
Keef would post her.
Right.
Like everybody wanted her. So she already had like a brand built. And I remember she hit me up. She was like, Flex, somebody hit me up, whatever about doing a photo shoot or whatever in New York. And, I ended up just taking her email and stuff like that and responding to them. And that's kind of how it happened.
And did she ever get paid while you was managing her?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the first gig you got her that she got paid for?
The first gig was a gig with this film company in New York. They wanted her to shoot a 30-second commercial. And at the time I didn't even know how to that was my first person I was managing, so I didn't know what the price and how to price it. But what I did know, I was smart, that in New York it costs a lot more than it is out in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm gonna shoot high. So I said 2,500, and they accepted it right out the back. I was like, dang, I shot too low. I'm thinking 2,500 high.
Yeah. So, how old was you when you was doing this?
I mean, I was probably like 18, 19.
18, 19. Okay. You imagine getting people paid, booked for shoots, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
While at the same time simultaneously throwing parties.
Yep.
Okay. So then you keep managing her. And then when did you stop managing her?
I stopped managing her. She ended up getting in a relationship, and I don't want to go all the way into that, but she got in a relationship, and I think the dude really got in her ear.
Right.
Because she came to me one time and was like, she needed a road manager, and I was like, well, you don't really need a road manager right now. It's not like we're going on tours yet,
Right.
Then that's cutting into your percentage.
Right.
And, I never had her under contract. I didn't want to put her under contract because at the time I was scared, because I'm like, man, if I give her this contract, she gonna feel like, because she was popular at the time.
Right.
So really, like, anybody like really
could have did
it, like could have managed her.
Right.
I don't want to say anybody, but somebody that probably had more experience than me
could have managed her.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to like scare her away, because I was just really doing it genuinely as a friend. And then for me, it was kind of like, I wasn't necessarily doing it for the money. It was more so like, this is a dope opportunity.
I feel you. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then that was the last model you managed at that point in time? And then you switched over to music artists?
Yep.
And then who was the first music artist that you managed?
I was managing this dude at the time. I'm not even gonna speak on the name, but I was managing the artist. Then I started managing because we was pretty much a collective group. I had like Boo Boo Blast. At the time, I had Boo Boo Blast, Gun, and it was a few other artists, but those were like the main ones. And I said the other dude's name. His name was Kid Swagger.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
So you was managing all of them at the same time?
Yeah, pretty much. And at the time, like, we were still trying to get it together.
Right.
You know, it was more so like the Swagger movement, like, is something that we all created together.
Right.
And it was more of a label situation. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
But again, beginning stages, I'm young, bro.
Yeah, you was like
time.
19.
Yeah, I'm 19 at this time. So I was really like focused on pushing like a record. Like I was pushing a Low Eyes record.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's like the first record I ever broke was a Low Eyes record.
Right. So you saying so Boo Blast already had that record before you found him, right?
No, me and Boo Boo, I've been knowing Boo Boo Blast since I was young.
I'm saying from when you started matching him, he already had that record out though.
I can't remember.
Okay.
I really can't remember.
You said you broke it, so I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah, I broke it because it wasn't. I would say it wasn't popular when he was under the Swagger camp. It wasn't popular like right when he joined the Swagger campaign as it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like people. DJs wasn't playing it like that.
Gotcha.
And I broke it at UNT. And if
by
you
playing
look
at
at
parties.
Yeah, and if you look at UNT, like UNT to this day is called like UNT Low Eyes Nation.
Right. Okay.
It's crazy we having this conversation because I don't even think a lot of people from UNT really know what really was going on behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
You know, but yeah.
Okay, so you got them 3 artists right there.
Yeah.
And then what happened? What progressed with that, with their careers, with you involved? Like what happened? Did you stop managing them? Did you keep managing them? What happened?
Yeah, man. Some things just like personal stuff behind the scenes, man. Like, I ended up discontinuing that label. I just dropped it as a whole.
And what was the name of that label?
Swagger Campaign.
Gotcha. Okay.
I ended up just dropping not necessarily like all the relationships, but some things behind the scenes that was happening on a personal level, that I wasn't in agreements with, and it didn't align with my values. Right. So I separated myself from it. But like, some like Gun right now, Gun is doing really good. As far as musically wise, he got like some placements on a lot of big stuff and working with a lot of big artists.
Right.
Shout out to Gun.
Okay. And then from that point on, you dropped that label. And then what was your next step after that?
My next up, I just kept doing events. I expanded out to Austin. Okay. Started doing events in Austin, doing like Texas relays, and then eventually, did my first party. My first matching party, doing South by Southwest, and then I expanded to Houston. Started doing events in Houston. By this time, my homie got back from the Army. He was going to TSU, and I just expanded immediately after my freshman year of college. I expanded.
Okay, and then tell me exactly. Was this before or after you joined Never Satisfied? The promotion.
That was before.
Before. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you do the match. You did the first match party on your own, right?
I do the first one on my own. I don't remember. I can't remember or not if I did it on my own. The first one. That may have been. No, I think I did do the first one on my own, and then the second one I collabed with Never Satisfied.
Right. Okay. And so when you first joined Never Satisfied, they come to you, or did you come to them?
Oh, they came to me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
I mean, the guy that brought the opportunity to me, he seen what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? As simple as that. Like, I was moving, bro. It was a lot of people, like, I was used to people coming at me literally, like, in high school. Because from that, the eyes were just on us. Because people weren't throwing big parties like we was throwing big parties in our age group. So like even like the club promoters from Dallas, like shout out to like, Tim Get Money, Clyde, all of them, cause like you know, they seen us, respected us, and, you know, we 17 years old getting into the club, not waiting in no lines, and we ain't waiting in no lines to this day. So it's crazy. But I feel like they came to me just off of respect. They seen what I was doing, and they were trying to expand a promotional team in the college market, and they didn't have the college market at the time, you know. Radio, he was doing like films, and he was focused on music. So,
and Radio Raheem.
Yeah.
That owns Never Satisfied, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you joined Never Satisfied. What was your primary purpose for doing that?
At the time, it made sense. You know, Radio had a vision that, you know, that aligned with mine. I mean, we had a huge studio that, like, I think I joined when I was 19, 19 to 20, somewhere around there. And, you know, I had a nice conference room. I had pretty much what somebody would want that would be coming up in entertainment.
Right, exactly.
And I had all that access and control. So it made sense. It was a good partnership at the time.
And then how many events did you do with Never Satisfied?
Man, I can't even count how many events I did with Never Satisfied.
But several.
Several events.
Okay. Over the course of how many years was you involved in the organization?
I want to say like 19 to 22. What was 23? Was that 2017? I think the last event I did with Never Satisfied was in 2016. So 19 to 22.
And what was the primary reason for you leaving that organization?
The primary reason, man, it wasn't the primary reason of me leaving. It wasn't necessarily like one primary reason. It was a bunch of different factors that was in place. Mm-hmm. But I think the whole collective was just at a certain point. It's not like things were like all the way bad or nothing like that.
Right. But
I would just say like things that I wanted to do. I'm always about like growing, bro. Right. And like continuing to elevate. And it was things that I wanted to do that, you know, that Radio at the time like didn't want to do or didn't want to put his money behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it's kind of like, I'm a creative. I'm a businessman, but I'm a creative. So I can always, again, create something out of nothing. So I wanted to create. Right. Not saying he was stopping me from creating, but the things that I wanted to create wasn't kind of like what he wanted to create.
Right. So basically, I just had different goals for the organization.
Yeah. And so, you know, I had interns, bro, you know, when I was 19.
Right.
You know, so at some point, I want to be able to take care of these interns, take care of these people. We had a bunch of people working with us for free. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got in the mood of like, okay, how am I going to take care of these people?
Right.
Right. And so I just felt like it was just best for me to move on and do my own thing.
Okay. And then from that point on, what was the next step in your journey for where you was going?
The next step, I created this, I started doing, I linked up with a girl who's now my business partner. And me and her, we just started doing more events. I kept the events going. I created something called Dallas Underground. I started working with local artists and throwing local showcases for artists. Kept the parties, Welcome Home Dallas. And then I really dove into creating Flexaveli, the brand, the clothing, right after that.
And then, so events to clothing.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I want to talk to you about. So how did you go from the events to clothing? Like, what made you start your own clothing line? What made you do that?
Man, I always wanted to start my own clothing line, like since high school. And the Swagger Campaign company at the time was not only supposed to be a label, it was supposed to be events, a label, and merchandise.
Right.
And Yeah. I mean, I've always been into clothes. Like that's how I really got known was through dressing. Like me and my homies, we would literally put on clothes. This is in high school. We would put on clothes in the house, go outside, do a photo shoot, and then take off the clothes.
Right.
To create content. We didn't even know what we was doing, but we was just like, hey bro, let's get fly real quick.
Right.
Do this, put this on Bebo, whatever it was at the time, MySpace. Yeah, it worked.
Okay.
Because everybody wanted to be like us. And we created, I'm going to humbly say this, bro.
Right.
I'll be humble when I say this. We created, and a lot of people that know that, from, again, 2008, that was my freshman year. 2007, 2008, freshman year in high school. We shifted everything when it came to clothing. Like, we started making people want to wear skinny jeans. You know what I'm saying? We started making people, well, actually, I'll even give respect to my bro, Dion. Like, Dion influenced like me to start wearing skinny jeans.
And even Deion Sanders Jr.
Yeah, Deion Sanders Jr.
Right.
And like he wasn't in Dolo gang, but we all hung together. He pretty much was in Dolo gang. You know what I'm saying? Right. But he wasn't like officially in, but he pretty much was in.
Right.
At the time. But like we shifted the whole fashion as far as wearing baggy clothes. You know what I'm saying? Because we going back in that time. Like,
right.
I grew up with a lot of people that was older than me, so the baggy clothes was in, and dressing like a thug, that was in. So we shifted it to more dressing cooler and not like a thug, but more fashionable.
Gotcha.
So I've always had that background of fashion. So I was always creating designs up until 23. Mm-hmm. I just never put nothing out. I was overthinking stuff, bro.
Right.
I was overthinking it.
So what was the step that made you like realize, okay, I did start my own clothing line? What was that triggered that in you?
Great question. So I changed my name from Dolo Flex to Flexaveli. And
what triggered that?
Honestly, again, bro, all my nicknames has always been given to me. Mm-hmm. Flexaveli, I didn't wake up one day and I'm gonna start calling myself Flexaveli or make my brand Flexaveli. Somebody gave me that name. Mm-hmm. To be real. And somebody, my roommate's friend, I would say he said it first. My roommate's, my friend, got tongue tied.
Don't get nervous.
My roommate friend in college started calling me Flexaveli.
Gotcha.
From that point, after those 2 years, now going to 23, I was like, I wanted to change my name. So I changed it to Flexaveli. So I was like, okay, let me brand this. So I put it on a hat. And the week after, I flew to Vegas. And I was at Drea's nightclub. And this girl came up to me and she was like, hey, where you get your hat from? And I kind of just like looked at her. It was like, I made it. And then she was like, where can I buy one at? And in my mind, I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, well, it's not out right now. But when it comes out, I'll let you know. Let me get your contact.
Right.
I had no intentions on dropping that hat. None whatsoever of selling that hat at all. And then when I got back to Dallas, the exact same thing, literally the exact same thing happened to me. Hey, where'd you get your hat at? Mm-hmm. Literally the exact same sequence of questions. Where can I buy one from? And I was just like, this is weird because I just put Flexaveli on the hat. I made it in a cool way, but it wasn't like it was just like the craziest design ever,
Right. And so that's the story. Those two instances made you drop a whole clothing line.
Literally. That made me realize that this is the brand to drop.
Gotcha.
Cause I was gonna do another brand that was another name that I'm not gonna say that I may still do one day. Mm-hmm. But I was doing it with my roommate in college. Mm-hmm. And he was gonna focus on creating designs, which I was gonna help with designs, but I was gonna more so focus on the business. But that was moving too slow. You know what I'm saying? So when this happened, it was like, this may be what God is telling me what I need to put out.
So you design all your own clothes? Mm-hmm. All of them yourself?
Yep. I work with, I got a homie that I work with on a graphic design, and he kind of takes my ideas and he does like the computer work. Gotcha. Kind of sit side by side with him. Right.
And I noticed that's one of your shirts right there, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like a motocross shirt.
Motocross, yeah.
Why motocross? Like what made you do that?
Cause bro, in high school I always wanted to have a moto jersey, and I never got a motocross jersey. And like if you look at if you look at the whole like BMX, motocross, it's all crazy designs. Like they jerseys really be clean. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, I never had one in college, so I'm gonna just make my own. And then we put it together and was like, dang, it's actually hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard jersey. So we put it up.
Okay. And then, so question I got too. I see a lot of people have clothing lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been smarter for you to have, like, let's say a custom line where you make everything custom people instead of just mass producing like motocross jerseys and hats and shirts?
You said do I think it would have been smarter?
Yeah, because I mean, that's just my perspective. I think if somebody has a clothing line, I feel like it's better if they just do custom pieces, just smarter. I feel like it makes more money just to do custom, at least starting off, right? You know, just do custom pieces for people instead of just mass producing shirts and hats and all that. Because, I mean, I see a lot of people do that, you know, and I'm just curious of what your thoughts on that was.
Well, making clothes, man, there's so many different processes to making clothes.
Right.
You know, technically everything is custom made if it's an original design. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now you talking about the custom, like me sitting here and sewing it, type of custom myself. You know, that's a different type of custom. That's me actually just doing that labor.
Well, like I'm saying, let's say somebody come to you want a hat, right? They want a Flexaveli hat.
Yeah.
They want let's say that hat right there, I can buy that same hat, right? 3 times. 3 different people can have that same hat on.
Right.
If I want to come, you say, okay, I want this kind of hat right here. I want it to look like this, but I want you to put your name on it, so it'll be a Flexaveli hat custom by you.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And why did you not go that way instead of mass producing everything?
I mean, one, it wasn't even like me trying to make a decision, and I just did it, man. Because I got so caught up. I was supposed to release a clothing line. Think about it, bro. I'm 23 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was supposed to release a clothing line when I was 18. So that's 5 years of not releasing anything but creating so many designs.
Right.
So when I got to the point, I was just fed up. I'm like, I'm looking for manufacturers. I'm trying to have everything perfect, and I realized nothing is going to be perfect, bro.
Right.
Like any business owners out there, like you're never going to have anything that's exactly perfect to be put out. You just got to take a step, and doors will open.
Mm-hmm.
Like trust and believe they will open. So I just took a step. I was originally supposed to drop nothing but hats.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude that I was using for hats, I hope he listens to this. The dude I was using for hats fucked me over, bro. Like literally right when I was about to drop everything. Like,
what do you mean he fucked you up? What you
fucked
mean?
me over.
What do you mean? Like
literally, this is 2 years ago, but he just wasn't real with me, bro. Like,
what, the pricing was all?
No, he was making the hats, he was doing it, everything. He was bordering my hats for me or whatever like that. And, you know, it got to the point where, all right, so I guess I just keep it real.
Keep it
raw.
raw.
I really don't care.
Keep it raw.
He was working at Lids. He was a manager at Lids, right? And he was manager at Lids. So I guess, I don't know if he really was supposed to be doing these hats for me, because I wasn't getting them at the cost at like Lids. You know, I was getting them like at a good rate.
Right.
And I guess he got fired or something. Right. But he never let me know that he got fired. Kind of made it seem like, you know, things were okay.
No. Yeah.
Maybe he made another move, and he was like, you know, I got a way better deal. Like, I got a factory now, whoop, whoop. And then I put in a bulk order, and I never got that order.
And nothing ever came back.
Yeah, but I was always getting my samples. Like, I was always getting my samples. You know, I would get like 5 hats at a time.
Right.
When I put in my bulk order, I never got anything. So it put a bad taste in my mouth. And then...
So did you pay for them? Did you actually pay for the hats?
Yeah.
So he kept the money?
Yeah.
How much money was it? How much money did you lose?
I can't even remember. It wasn't even a lot of money, bro. That's why I ain't even mad. I think it was like $200, bro.
Yeah.
$300.
But you never got the product, basically.
I never got the product, though.
Gotcha.
Even though it wasn't a lot of money to me.
It was the principle.
It was the principle.
So,
because some people get killed off $200-$300.
So, no, I'm saying from that point on, what exactly, what advice would you recommend to somebody that's trying to start a clothing line that might be dealing with something like that? What would you tell them to do? Or did you do after that to make sure you didn't get fucked up like that again?
You know, maybe contracts. Man, things don't happen though. Every situation, bad things are going to happen. I don't care what business you in, clothing line, things are gonna happen that you don't want to happen. So you kind of just gotta learn from those mistakes. You gotta know how to go about things differently. So I don't know. I deal with more professional people that don't work at lids and getting hats made for me now. So
right. So would you say the clothing line is profitable so far up to this point? Because how long have you been running the clothing line?
Probably like a year and a half now. Year and a half.
Would you say it's profitable?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know most clothing lines lose money for like the first 3 to 5 years or something like that when you first started. So you've made money already off the clothing line.
Yeah.
Okay.
It haven't been a lot of money, but I made money.
Okay. And tell me exactly. So with the clothing line, what's your goal with that?
Really, again, man, the clothing line for me is just a way to express myself creatively through clothes. And that's the joy that I get from it. And my goal is to make it on a national, global level.
Clothing line.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. And what's the next outfit you got dropping, man? What clothes you got dropping coming out soon?
Man,
some more hats,
I'm actually about to drop some hats.
Some more hats.
Yeah.
You like hats a lot.
I love hats. That was always the original deal, is to be hats. I just ended up officially dropping with clothes.
Right, got you.
So like, yeah.
Okay. How many pieces have you dropped since you started it?
Can't even count. Colorways or just pieces?
Pieces.
I like 8 to 10.
10 pieces. Okay. So a year and a half, 8 to 10 pieces. Not bad. Got your little summer collection.
Yeah. I slowed up with it, bro. I was so focused on the business and everything. I had to get the company Flexaveli in order as a brand, clothing line, which I feel like is now in order in a sense, but you're never going to be all the way together.
Right.
But now I got like way more structure than I had before.
Right. So, and going back to the company Flexaveli, right? You just did a conference, right, in Dallas.
Yeah.
And you called it what? DreamCon?
DreamCon.
Okay, DreamCon. What made you want to do that?
Man, bro, that's a great question too. DreamCon for me was, the reason why I wanted to do DreamCon is because, I would get people to say that like, hey, I have friends that like, man, I don't really go out to the club, or I don't really like to go out to parties, or man, I wish there was something like that can help my business. And then I would always get DMs of people like asking me like, bro, can you give me some business advice? Can you give me some advice on like, how do you do all this stuff? How do you manage it? How do you build a team? Can you give me some marketing advice? And I would always get all these people reaching out to me for that type of stuff. So now I realized, I looked at events and I'm like, there wasn't any like conferences for our people. It wasn't any conferences for young, upcoming entrepreneurs, creatives, and artists. So I know what happened when I attended my first conference. It shifted a whole part of my life.
What was the first conference you attended?
The Revolt Music Conference in Miami by Diddy.
How did that affect your life?
Man, it affected my life tremendously. I met Andre Harrell, which Andre Harrell is Diddy's mentor, now and business partner now. The guy who put him in the game. And, I still message Andre Harrell back and forth here and there. And what that conference did for me was, I seen so many. That was my first time seeing so many black successful people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in one room.
Right.
And it gave me like what they call it? Is it dopamine? What they call it?
Yeah, dopamine. Yeah.
Yeah, like it gave me a high,
a rush,
a rush and a high
rush,
that was like, dang, like this feel good. You know what I'm saying? And then the insight that I was getting, the information that I was getting, and literally the access to the people that was there. Like, since it's a conference, the thing about conferences is people that are famous or successful, they're more willing to talk to you than to talk to you at like a concert.
Right.
Or even randomly out on the street.
Right.
But at the conference, the spirit there is like, okay, let's network. Let's help other people. that share advice, that share information.
And tell me exactly how much you pay to go to that conference.
I paid $1,300.
So would you say it was worth it?
Well worth it.
Well worth it. Because I mean, I know it's a lot of people that
I got the VIP ticket. I didn't want to be regular.
Right. I know a lot of people that don't. A lot of people that want to do music and be in the industry, they normally don't hear about them going to conferences.
Which is stupid.
Right. Because you feel like it helped you tremendously.
Yeah. And the thing about it, that was a music and entertainment conference, and a lot of music artists were there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going there from the business side. I wasn't going there to do music per se. Right. But if you're a music artist and you're not at these conferences, you must be super huge.
I mean, why do you feel like music artists need to go to those conferences?
Well, not just music artists. I feel like people need to go to conferences, period, for whatever is in your industry. But for the conversation talking about Revolt, they had this thing called Be Heard, where you literally go into a room in front of A&Rs, big music executives, and perform for them for 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How much did that cost?
I mean, it was free after you bought your ticket.
Oh, so they could just be in front of all these A&Rs and just get seen.
Yes, and get seen and get access to these people.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one component of it. And then you also got access to the speakers that are there. Speakers from, I can't even, all the businesses that was there, Spotify, Tidal, all the big music labels, Warner Bros, Sony, Universal, everybody was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just opportunity to build relationships, and relationships is key in any business.
Right. So you feel like it's a must for artists to go to these conferences.
A must.
If they want to be successful.
A must, unless they already at the point where they there.
Right.
But if you're not, then you should go.
Because it's not just about the music. I mean, you could be at that conference, but your music is trash. I mean, you still go?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because if your music is trash, let's say you're a music artist and your music is trash, you're going to hear some real stuff there. That's the thing too. Right. Like, you're going to hear the real. Like at DreamCon, we gave the real.
What is the real?
The real is not sugarcoating things. The real is, yes, I'm successful, but I'm going to tell you about this $20,000 loss I just took a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is real talk. Talking about myself now. You know what I'm saying?
You lost $20,000.
Yeah, I lost $20,000.
How'd you lose $20,000?
I don't want to get into all that.
Okay.
But, because we're on a limited time here.
Gotcha.
But, yeah. But like at DreamCon, they was talking about, I think one of our panels had lost like $100,000 in the course of 3 months.
Right.
Just last year. So when you hear these type of stories, of course we go in detail of the stories, like, we got a limited time here, but when they go in details of these stories and show you kind of what they went through and why that situation happened.
The mistake.
So you can learn from that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can learn from not only just hearing from somebody's success, but from learning from their mistakes.
Right.
One of the biggest reasons why I got into real estate a little bit was because of my professor in college. The only professor, his name is Professor Bain at UNT. The only professor I feel like really taught me some stuff because he gave me the real, which is he didn't sugarcoat nothing. He put the checks on the screen. He put the contracts on the screen. He walked through each contract, and he didn't just talk about how much money he made. He talked about what happened throughout the deal. And that's the true value, because what you realize is in business, everything repeats itself. It does. Like, a lot of successful people go through the same stuff. It's just in a different situation.
In a bigger scale, I guess.
Yeah, like, for example, friends. Every successful person has had to pretty much not necessarily pretty much create a new circle around them. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes you progress faster than your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to surround yourself with other people who are like-minded or smarter than you in a certain area. Every successful person has went through that.
So you don't feel like it's possible to keep the same friends for years and years?
Not every single one.
It's impossible.
Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Impossible. Unless you got one friend.
Right. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's impossible.
So, tell me, Flexin, the DreamCon was the start of your agency, right?
Yeah.
Which is?
It was the visibility of my agency, but RT's agency.
Right. And what made you start RT's agency?
Man, RT's agency for me is like, now RT's agency was a level up of like this label that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
The label that I wanted at the time was kind of like me thinking on a small scale. RT's agency, the reason why I started is because I knew that there was problems and needs in the markets that I'm in. And most of those needs are like, you know, things that we offer within the agencies, like marketing, branding, you know, financial consulting, business development, videography, photography, whatever. But the biggest thing was that people lacked a team. Mm-hmm. So the agency purpose is to not only we work with big brands and big companies, but really focus and help out the small up and coming people.
Right.
That's what I really want to help. Even if, and they might even have the budget that I want, but that's the people I want to help because I want to create those success stories.
Right. So, given that you're not actually involved in the music industry like that, like you're
I
not
am, no.
Well, you consider yourself an A&R, or do you work for a record label?
I don't work for a record label, but I feel like I have A&R. I do A&R things.
Like what?
Artist development.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can literally break down the artist. I can evaluate them. I can break down their music. I can connect them. Because the A&R is kind of like let's say A&R works on projects, works with the artist. It develops them. It gets them, connects them with the right person to whatever, create the music with or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It focuses on their marketing campaign and releasing the project. I do marketing. You know?
And would you say, knowing that you do all of that, do you feel like it's smart for somebody to pay somebody like you instead of going to like a bigger platform?
And it really just depends, you know, what it is. Like, everybody's always at different levels. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is smart to pay me for consulting. Absolutely.
And why do you feel that is?
My experience. I have 9 years of experience in business.
Have you broken any artists in 9 years?
I've broken a record in 9 years.
Which is the record we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So, but I haven't focused on, that's the thing. I wasn't focused on up until now. Mm-hmm. I wasn't focused on like really, really deeply helping artists. Mm-hmm. But I put artists in situations that without me they would have never had. Like performing in front of big artists. You know what I'm saying? Getting big shows, doing South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. You know, meeting bigger artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I've gotten people to places that honestly I can say, and I hate to say it like that because I don't want to say like without me, because at the end of the day, that person had to put in some work too. Right. I just matched them 50%. Right. At least 50%. You know what I'm saying? Like, an artist right now that's not a music artist, but as a videographer, don't hype me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hype me. Like, that's my brother. Like, right now, he's about to be on tour with Jacquees. Mm-hmm. He's only like 22, 23 years old. Right. And literally, probably in a year or a year and a half with him being with me, literally took him off.
So you feel like a lot of his success attributed to what you did for him as well? I mean, he was good.
He was great.
But do you feel like what you did, what you impacted him as, do you feel like that contributed a lot to his success?
Absolutely. Because he was with me all the time, like every day.
So, okay.
And he wasn't, before we got together, he wasn't shooting for nobody.
So you would say without you, there is no Jacquees tour?
I'm not saying that.
I'm just trying to understand.
Because at the end of the day, there's a thing about life too. Okay. You can help somebody all you can. You can give them the keys, but it's up to that person to execute as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying without me, it wouldn't be no Jacquees tour for him. Mm-hmm. Like, no, that would be stupid to say. Mm-hmm. Like, he put in time and effort of editing and hours and things that I can't do. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can do, but on a very basic level. Right. Like, the time and the energy that he puts behind the videos and how he does it is magnificent. I just added my sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for adding my sauce as far as on the business side. You know what I'm saying? Like literally taking him to shooting for the bigger concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so what would you say is next for Flexaveli?
What's next for me? Man, honestly, what's next for me? I'm really in the mindset of right now is just serving and helping people. That's really it.
Just serving, helping people.
Serving and helping people, helping businesses, helping individuals, getting their personal and their business together. Like that's my focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is serving. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's next for Flex. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know this. Like, I'm always doing stuff. I'm always cooking up things. But right now is I'm in the mindset of now helping businesses grow because I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen what I can do for myself.
Right.
So now I'm trying to help other people.
Right. And by helping people, you mean them getting to bigger platforms, getting to bigger artists.
That's music. But music is one thing. I love music, but like one person right now I'm about to work with, like I'm doing something on the politics side now.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just became a part of somebody's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's politics. That has nothing to do with music.
So you pretty much are multifaceted.
I'm multifaceted.
Into every industry possible.
I don't want to say every industry possible. I have my strengths in certain industries, but I have a mindset, an innovative mind that a lot of people don't have. Like in simple form, I'm very creative. But see, that's the thing, like for a music artist. Most music artists and creative, they can make the music, they got the talent, but they don't have the business understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my core as a child, I always knew that I would start businesses. And then I found that I'm creative. Like I used to sing when I was little. Mm-hmm. I know how to play the saxophone. I'm very good at playing the saxophone. I've always been good at doing things. I don't know. It's just natural for me. So when you combine the creative and you combine the business, you get a whole different type of guy. And that's me. And that's why the person that is running for Congress on a national level respects that about me and the ideas that I presented to her. Mm-hmm. So I can pretty much tap into any industry and help scale the business because I understand scaling and I understand business dynamics. I mean, I didn't have to get my degree in this, but I got my degree in entrepreneurship. And then I doubled in marketing. And I got a minor in real estate. It's very diverse. But without entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, that's obviously starting businesses, right? Mm-hmm. Marketing, without marketing, your business is going to fail.
Gotcha. And this last question I'm going to ask you, Flex. If you had to describe yourself in 2 words, what would it be?
Man, I can't describe myself in 2 words.
Not one bit.
No, I was just playing. In 2 words, I had to think about that, bro. I'm a deep thinker, too. You can't be limiting my thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm a deep thinker, bro, so. In 2 words. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard.
Okay.
I'm a very diverse person, so.
You know what, man? I appreciate you coming out, Flex.
Yeah.
My show, Raw Discourse, man.
We here.
And I feel like we need to follow up this interview with a part 2.
With a part 2?
I feel like we didn't have enough time to delve into the depth of Flexaveli.
Yeah, we ain't had enough time.
So I feel like I'm about to bring you back again for a part 2.
Yeah, man. We have to talk about some raw things. I thought we was going to get more raw.
No. This is just the introduction.
This is the introduction.
It's a long road. This is a journey, you know?
Yeah.
You know, stages. Got to give them the introduction. You can't just be going raw without the introduction.
No, that's true. They kind of need to know a little bit of the build-up.
Exactly. And that's what this was about, man.
I appreciate
you coming on as my friend and a brother of mine, man. I appreciate you, Flex.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That's it. We out here, man. This Raw Discourse.
Hey, hold on. How would you describe me in 2 words?
How would I describe you in 2 words?
Yeah.
I guess they'll have to find out next time. That's it. We out of here, man. Take us out, Mike.